Qatargate scandal has exposed millions in secret payments to Netanyahu's closest aides, even as they shaped Israel's public messaging during the war. With top advisors accused of lobbying for a foreign state, a judge let them keep working for Netanyahu after he dismissed the affair as nothing illegitimate. Critics warn this isn't just corruption, it's foreign influence at the heart of Israel's leadership. Qatar paid senior Israeli officials, including several top advisors to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a total of some $10 million in recent years to boost the image of the Gulf nation, the Khan public broadcaster reported on August 17th. Citing estimates by law enforcement officials involved in the Qatargate probe, the report says that Perception Media, owned by Yisrael Einhorn, a former campaign advisor to Netanyahu, was paid $45,000 per month over 2 years, from 2022 until the project was scrapped in late 2024. Some $18,000 per month out of the payment to Perception went to Netanyahu aide Jonathan Urich, the report says. Separately from the payments to Perception, $11,000 per month went to another Netanyahu aide, Eli Feldstein. The rest was paid to then senior defense officials, former Mossad officials and employees of a tech firm, according to the public broadcaster. The Qatargate affair revolves primarily around suspicions that Urich and Feldstein committed multiple offences tied to their alleged work for a pro-Qatar lobbying firm, including contact with a foreign agent and a series of corrupt actions involving lobbyists and businessmen, all while working for the Prime Minister. The investigation continues to expand, and the Shin Bet and police are now probing the involvement and business connections of former security officials with Qatar. Notably, Einhorn and Urich had both spearheaded a pro-Qatari public relations campaign to cast the Gulf state in a positive light ahead of the 2022 FIFA World Cup hosted in Doha. They reportedly continued their PR work for Qatar well into the Israel-Hamas war that was sparked by Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack. The Israeli public and media were unaware that these pro-Qatar talking points and messages were crafted by Einhorn, who had previously done PR work for Doha, rather than organically by the Prime Minister's office, raising concerns about covert foreign influence in public discourse. Urich and Feldstein have both been arrested and questioned for their suspected role in the case. Einhorn, who resides in Serbia, was recently questioned by Israeli investigators in Belgrade after he refused to come to Israel for fear of arrest upon arrival. Feldstein is already under indictment in a separate case on charges of transmitting classified information for allegedly having leaked material from a secret document to the German Bild newspaper last year. Meanwhile, on August 14th, Judge Menachem Mizrahi of the Rishon LeZion Magistrates Court dismissed the police's request to extend various restrictions placed on Urich after his initial house arrest in May. Moreover, the judge also did not bar him from meeting Netanyahu or working for him. The ruling went into effect on August 18th, giving police time to prepare an appeal. The restrictions on Urich, which police sought to extend until September 10th, included a ban on making contact with several other figures involved in the Qatargate scandal, as well as anyone working for the Prime Minister's office, including Netanyahu himself. According to Mizrahi, the police failed to produce evidence meeting the reasonable suspicion standard that Urich held the status of a public servant as defined by criminal law, a designation relevant to his culpability for potential bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, for which he is suspected. In his decision, the judge revealed some of the testimony given by Netanyahu, who spoke to the police's Lahav 433 Major Crime Unit in March about the Qatargate affair. According to Mizrahi,
Netanyahu was asked if he was aware that the suspect worked for Qatar, and he answered in the negative. He added that even if it were the case, that's the way things go, so there's nothing illegitimate. Many people work for many countries. Qatar is not an enemy state. He He said the suspect was a spokesman for the Likud party and was even used as his Netanyahu's spokesperson, that he was part of the public diplomacy effort, but that he did not receive a salary from the state, but rather from the party.
He noted that the Premier told investigators that Ulrich could work with whoever he wanted, as he was not, in the Premier's account, a public servant. Mizrahi also noted that in documents provided to the court, no need or intention was expressed to collect any further testimony from Netanyahu. Therefore, the conclusion is that the prohibition of contact between him and the accused has no relevance at all, the judge reasoned. Moreover, he noted, Netanyahu's military spokesman Eli Feldstein is not prohibited from speaking to Netanyahu or anyone else, despite being a central suspect in the investigation. However, the police wrote in the appeal that his actions were taken against the interests of the Prime Minister's office and the state. The police said that the evidence shows that the Prime Minister was not aware of Ulrich's full dealings with Qatar. He was not presented with the evidence establishing the details and scope of these dealings and the security concerns they raise, and therefore his testimony does not impact the suspicions. Meanwhile, an editorial in Haaretz questioned Netanyahu's loyalty in the case, saying that Netanyahu ignored the facts and confessions from the police interrogation rooms. It further said that the fact that people in Netanyahu's closest milieu have dual loyalties, worked for a foreign country whose considerations could be entwined with the considerations of what was best for Israel, needs to keep every citizen awake at night. The article questioned Netanyahu's judgment in the case based on his testimony to the judge, which became a central factor in the judge's decision.